yo, put me in the game, coach. I knock it down at the buzzer, like my name go. MJ fadeaway, ayy. I'm a game closer. Pull up in that blacked out truck, like my name Ghost. Hit him with that fist pump, I just won the game, yo. I make a champagne ghost.
Boom, 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 bam. Welcome back to the Great Debate Show. I'm your host, your favorite Uncle JJ, and as always, I got something to say. What do I have to say today? I want to talk about a few different things that happened around the league today. The Great Debate Show, first of all, is available wherever, on all social media platforms. Rate, review, follow on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you never know when your favorite Unc might pop back up on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Follow the Great Debate Show on all those social media platforms as well, so you can, stay up to date with some of the latest debates, the greatest debates that are posted. Join the fun and get into the comments and start chatting away. I will definitely hit you back and respond, and we may get a great debate going. All of those things are on those other social media platforms. Okay, so today I want to talk about Chris Paul. Briefly, Chris Paul is no longer with the LA Clippers. So just give you a rundown on some of the news. First, I'm here to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is looking to get traded, it seems, again. The Bucks got off to a 9-13 start, and I told you all the Bucks were not going to be that good this year, and he's going to get traded to the Knicks. I thought that would happen before the season started. It did not, but I still said it would happen. So I want to talk about Giannis and where he could possibly land in a moment. Also, want to talk about Terrence Bud Crawford being stripped of his title because he didn't pay sanctioning fees. I'll talk about that in a moment. Few things to dive into on that, and we'll break it down. The great debate is, does Crawford have a point, or is he just being a ninja who could have just paid the bill? Stay tuned, we'll talk about it. And the biggest debate I would say of the day would be, can the OKC Thunder beat or break the Golden State Warriors 73-9 regular season record? They are on pace to win 75 games right now, the way it's going. They're 21-1, and I mean, it definitely looks possible. We'll talk about it. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for that to, actually happen. I'll talk about it in a moment, but Draymond Green said they're more than capable of doing it. However, he admitted that it took some years off of his career trying to get that record that they did break. Is it important? Not more important than going back to back. Keep in mind, when the Warriors beat the Bulls record in 173 games, they didn't win the championship though. So we'll talk about it. Can OKC beat the Warriors regular season record? Bud Crawford gets stripped of his title. Was that fair or not? And Giannis Antetokounmpo looking to get traded, even though Doc Rivers is saying that he never asked for one. Breaking news is that he's looking right now. His agent is talking to the Bucks about the future on staying or leaving, and it's to leave. But first, Chris Paul. Y'all, this happened at 2 a.m. I don't understand what popped off, but had to be something pretty major for it to happen at 2 a.m. Chris Paul is no longer with the LA Clippers. He wanted to finish his career with the LA Clippers. And that's not going to happen now. The Clippers and CP3 part ways. The team released a statement after Chris Paul posted on IG that he had been sent home, and he put up the do sign. Everybody was wondering what's going on. What is up with this? The Clippers say Chris Paul is no longer on the team, and they will work with him on the next step of his career. Don't know exactly what that even means, but he's no longer there. It came out later on in the day why this didn't work out. Now, ownership has said Chris Paul is not a scapegoat. He has absolutely nothing to do with their slow start because, well, they have gotten out to a slow start. But what came out was CP3 wasn't talking to Tyronn Lue, the head coach of the LA Clippers. Paul's disruptive leadership style clashed with the Clippers. That's according to ESPN Shams. So CP3 wasn't talking to Lou, and Paul's disruptive leadership style clashed with the Clippers. Interesting. Paul clashed with LA. From what it says, Chris Paul was not on speaking terms with the Clippers coach Ty Lue for several weeks before his ouster. That is according to ESPN Shams again. So, hey, man, it was a rocky road or a rocky relationship. They didn't get out to a good start. As a matter of fact, we just had Tyronn Lue. It says Tyronn Lue refused to meet with CP3. That was another report we got from Haynes later on. I can't think of his first name, but he's a good, reliable source. It said Paul wanted to clear the air on allegations on being a negative presence, but Tyronn Lue refused to meet with him. And later on, I think it was Tyronn Lue who said that, what was his exact words? I think it was just, man, we didn't click. We just didn't click. If I can find that, 1 second. Maybe I won't. Yeah, Tyronn Lue said that it just wasn't a good fit. That's exactly what he said. The Clippers head coach says it just wasn't a good fit. That was his quote on CP3. So CP3 no longer a Clipper. It's not really breaking news in my opinion, but for something like this to happen, and we just got past Thanksgiving, and he was supposed to finish his career with them this year, being his last year. They couldn't even just tough it out and, get through this season. They did not. Is he going to play anymore for anybody else, or is he just going to go ahead and call it quits right now? I don't know. Chris Paul isn't the same Chris Paul. Chris Paul did play all 82 games last season with the San Antonio Spurs. He and Tyronn Lue just did not have a good relationship. It didn't work out. I don't know whose fault it is, and we probably won't find out until one of these guys goes to sit down with somebody on a podcast. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. He is no longer a Clipper, and the Clippers are pretty bad right now. But at least the president came out and said, hey, it has nothing to do with Chris Paul on why we suck right now. Okay, in other news around the leagues, I said leagues because I do NFL, NBA, MLB, UFC, WWE, just pretty much any and everything sports and entertainment related. What else do I have for you before I get into the real good stuff? A few things that I want to say about wrestling as well. Some wrestling news that I discovered. But let's get on with some more good stuff here. Let me go back. Okay, so again, Chris Paul no longer with the LA Clippers. He has been dismissed. They basically told his ass to go home, if you want to be real. Okay, so what else? The Chiefs and the Cowboys set TV records on Thanksgiving. They had 57.2 million viewers. It's the highest rated rating for any NFL regular season game for now. Somebody will break that in 3 weeks or so. If anybody cares, Deshaun Watson can return to practice for the Cleveland Browns. They have opened up his 21-day window to return from IR. The Eagles said they were open to a Slay return. Darius Slay. I told you all yesterday on the live stream that he got waived by the Steelers. Well, he's not going to go back to the Eagles because the Buffalo Bills have already picked him up off waivers. The Bills now have Darius Slay on their roster now. Sauce Gardner, unlikely to go on injured reserve. The Colts cornerback feels that he can return within 4 weeks from a calf strain injury. Mike Evans is now practicing. Started today. The Bucs wide receiver has quicker than expected return from his broken clavicle. That's according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. So that was pretty much some of the other news that I wanted to break. Ohio State still number 1 in college football. If anybody wants to hear me break that down for a second, here you go. Ohio State still number 1. Indiana still number 2. Georgia 3. And now Texas Tech has moved up to number 4. Number 5, Oregon. 6, Ole Miss. 7, Texas A&M. 8, Oklahoma. 9, Alabama. 10, Notre Dame. 11, BYU, and 12, Miami. I know a lot of people are upset that Miami is at 12 and Notre Dame is at 10, and Miami beat Notre Dame. This is why I said if you go past 8 teams in the playoffs, it's going to be a problem. People are still not going to be satisfied. And I don't think they will. And not only are they at 12 teams in the playoffs, I'm hearing they're going to possibly go to 16 as early as next year. There's going to be a screw up somewhere, no matter what they do or how they do it. Everybody's not going to be pleased. Everybody's not going to be satisfied. Ole Miss still number 6. Or they moved up a little bit instead of moving back after losing their former head coach Lane Kiffin, who said deuces in Oxford, Mississippi, and got on the first thing smoking and flew to Baton Rouge as he's headed to LSU. Right now, with the playoffs started, you know Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech would get the bye. And it would start off with number 5, Oregon, going up against number 12, Miami. As of right now, that's what it is. But we've got conference championship games coming up this weekend. And then by Sunday, we will know. By Sunday evening, we will know the final verdict of the 12 teams. But those are the 12 for right now in college football. Okay. And shout out to my North Carolina Tar Heels. Last night, they won 67-64 as the Tar Heels outlasted the Kentucky Wildcats in a tight back-and-forth battle. That was a good one last night on ESPN, and we definitely covered that plus 7.5. Hell, we won. Good game, good win for the Tar Heels. Okay, what else we got here? So now let's get to some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and that is Bud Crawford. I'll start with him being stripped of the title. The WBC says Bud Crawford didn't pay sanctioning fees for the last 2 fights. That's right. The WBC stripped Terrence Crawford of his super middleweight title on Wednesday, claiming that the undefeated American star has failed to pay mandatory fees to the sanctioning body. Crawford, 42-0, 31 KOs, won the undisputed super middleweight championship with a dominant decision win against Canelo Alvarez in September. I was there for that, front and center. Enjoyed myself. And I told everybody for months they were going to win. He was going to beat Canelo. Just wanted to add that in there for anybody who's watching for the first time and think that I don't know sports. The WBC says it gave Crawford a discount from 3% to 0.6% on sanctioning fees on his reported $50 million purse from fighting Canelo, claiming that Crawford has balked at paying the fee for that fight. The WBC sent multiple communications to the champion Crawford, his manager, and his legal counsel. The sanctioning body said in a statement, very unfortunately, that the WBC did not receive an acknowledgement of receipt nor any response to any of those communications. The WBC had no choice but to act. Crawford responded to the WBC's claim in an explicit video on Wednesday. He said, "I ain't paying your ass shit." Crawford said that defiantly, calling out the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, by name. He said, "What makes you better than any other sanctioning bodies? What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA?" Crawford continued by saying, "Everybody accepted what I was giving them but you. You, the WBC, think that you're better than everybody. You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioning bodies because you feel like you're better than them?" Crawford has held world championships in 5 divisions and been undisputed in 3 different classes. While building his unblemished record, they have a bout now between British contender Hamza Shiraz, 22-0, with 18 knockouts, and fellow contender Christian Mibley. They has been ordered for the vacant title. Boy, boy, boy. That is the news so far, and that's pretty much all I got. But Terrence Crawford is basically saying that, and again, if anybody wants to know what these sanctioning fees are, I don't know what they usually are, but Crawford just seems to think that this is too much and this was too big, and I don't think he thinks that, another report says that him and his crew, his camp, don't believe that anybody else would have been charged that. It's not about his $50 million purse. So we know he has the money to pay it. I think with Crawford, it's the principles. Crawford is saying, hey, man, why in the hell are you charging me a $300,000 for a sanctioning fee and another one for over $100K? This is well over $400,000 that he has to pay, and he just refused to do so. He said, who do you think I am? He doesn't care about that. He said it's nothing but a trophy, the title that is, and he said he already knows that he's the undisputed super middleweight champion, and that's it. Everybody knows it. Everybody watched him win. Everybody watched him dominate Canelo Alvarez, and whether he has that belt around his waist or not, he says that's just a prize. He doesn't need it. So he's standing on what he's saying. He's standing on business. He does not want to pay that, and he's not. Anything else that I'm missing that I would like to let you know? I saw Mauricio had a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100,000 something for sanctioning fees. Then he gonna tell me I ain't apologized. Who the fuck do you think I am? Boy, you better slap yourself. I ain't paying your ass shit. This is the words from Terrence Crawford. What makes you? I read some of that already. He also continued with everybody. No, I read that part too. Okay. Also, he said, you have the green belt, which don't mean effing shit. You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioning bodies because you feel like you're better than them. You can take that fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway. The fuck I am paying you, what the fuck I am paying you every time I step foot in the fucking ring. I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you. You should be paying me. This dude gets on a plane, gets a hotel suite. Him and his buddies, they go out to 5-star meals and all that. Guess who got to pay for it? Us fighters. Mauricio, everybody in the world know you was going for Canelo. You was mad that I beat Canelo. It's okay. It happens. Say congratulations instead of having that little smirk on your face, all mad and pouting. You should have took the money and you should have been grateful that I was rocking the belt around as a champion. I've been stripped before. It doesn't matter. I'm still considered the undisputed champion. Those were the words from a champion. The undisputed. 3 different classes. 5 different divisions. Super middleweight champion, whether he has that title around his waist or not. He's got a good point though, ladies and gentlemen. He should have been happy that Crawford was sporting that belt around his waist. He should have been. And I don't know if I really can blame Terrence Crawford. If he feels that this dude was going for Canelo and he's just jacking the price up, raising it up. He's never paid a sanctioning fee at this price. And he's absolutely right. He does put his body on the line. What does this dude do to say, the sanctioning fee is going to be $300,000? This is going to be $100,000. Just because he got a $50 million purse? Do you know what the purse was for Canelo? I wonder what he had to charge him that much. I think this is something personal. I don't blame him for not paying it. At first, I thought that he was just being a nigga. I ain't gonna lie. But it doesn't seem like he's being a ninja. It seems like he's just standing on business. And, you know, he's a rebel. And he's rebel-minded. He's right. It's just a fucking trophy. You can have that title. I'm not giving you that much money just for that. And then I kind of believe him. I'm with him on that. And so it is what it is. Now, I will say this. Crawford's going to have to be very careful about some of these next fights that he take, because when you do things like this and you're rebel-minded and you will not stand for anything, not fall for anything, he's standing up for something, you know, there's some things that they can try to do to try to tarnish his career, you know, F his record up, pay judges to, you know, a match that ends in a decision. He's going to have to really just continue to knock everyone out. Because if there's a match where he doesn't unanimously win it, sometimes you can unanimously win something, dominate somebody, and they'll still say a draw. They could pay the judges to do some shit like that. I don't know. We'll see. But that is the boxing news from Terrence Crawford and him being stripped of the WBC belt today after the sanctioning body said he had not paid sanctioning fees for his last 2 fights. He said, I ain't paid it and I'm not going to pay it. And it's basically because it's over $400K. And everybody else, like he said, has been comfortable with what he's been paying them. He pays his sanctioning fees. He just won't pay this one. And I don't really have a problem with it. We know he's the champion, and that's all that really matters. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I talked about CP3. I've talked about a little bit of college football, the playoff rankings, and I've talked about Bud Crawford and his title. Now, can we quickly talk about, and watch out for Mike Evans coming back. That's not good for the rest of the NFC. What else did I say? All right, Aaron Rodgers invited teammates over. The Steelers quarterback and skill guys watched film on his birthday, Tuesday, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Ooh, they're watching film together. Isn't that what they're supposed to do anyway? USC has the number one recruiting class. First non-SEC school since 2008. According to 24/7 Sports, USC. Shout out to Lincoln Riley. They've got the number one recruits as of now. They spent a lot of NIL money probably, but I can't see how much. All right. Giannis Antetokounmpo asked to be traded. Yeah. Brian Windhorst has confirmed that Antetokounmpo requested a move during the offseason. And then we went from there to breaking news later in the day saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent are having conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about his future, whether he stays or goes elsewhere. That came from ESPN Shams. I can tell you right now, he's going to go elsewhere. Giannis is unsure about the future. He's been unsure since about a year ago. He's been talking since the season ended last season in the offseason. All he's been doing is talking. And I told you all back in August, in September, this thing is going to happen hopefully before the season starts. If not, this is going to be something that's going to just continue to go on until it finally happens between the beginning of the season and the February trade deadline. Well, we're not even going to make it to the trade deadline. We're not even going to get to Christmas. This is about to pop off pretty quick. So if everybody is confirming that, hey, he did ask for a trade back in the summer, and yes, it looks like he's asking for one now. Why is Doc Rivers coming out saying he ain't never asked for one? This is about to probably take off pretty quick. Where is Giannis Antetokounmpo going to land? I wish he would go ahead and do it. He should have just got traded in the first place because he never told his fans, I want to be a Buck for life. And if you can't say that, you probably are not going to be a Buck for very long. I think that he's going to leave. I've always said that he's going to be a New York Knick. He could possibly be a Golden State Warrior, but I think he's going to be a Knick. There's some age over there in Golden State. I'm not saying he won't help them and make them better, but I think he goes to the Knicks. I think that's where he would much rather be. Madison Square Garden, New York. He's an Eastern Conference guy, and I don't really think he wants to get on the West Coast, but we'll see. Depends on what the trade looks like. It depends on what Milwaukee can get back in return. They're not in this to please Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's leaving them. So they shouldn't really give a damn where he goes. The thing is, they would like to get as much compensation for him as they possibly can, or as many players and or compensation. I think that he's going to go to the Knicks. Notice how this report started dropping this today. After just 24 hours ago, Karl Anthony Towns said that he wanted to be a Knick for life. He wanted to do the extension. He's looking forward to it. They don't want to give him that extension. They're just waiting on Giannis to ask for the trade. The Knicks actually had a chance to get Giannis during the offseason, but it sounds like their offer wasn't good enough. Are they happy with what they have now, or do they go ahead and pull the trigger? They've got Mike Brown in his first season, but the Knicks are not just lighting it up. I mean, they're just, 4 games over 500, 4 games over 500. They're not getting out to the start that I thought they would. I thought they'd be number 1, number 2 in the East. I don't know where they stand right now, but the Detroit Pistons is killing it. Anyway, I just wish Giannis will go ahead and end this. Make up your mind and end this shit. Giannis could go to the Knicks. He could go to the Warriors. These are some of the destinations that he could go to. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else where he could be. Like, I wanted him to be with the Pistons or the Rockets, but that's not going to happen now. The Rockets are kind of good. The Pistons are good. But, man, if he went to the Pistons, that would be crazy. I don't know who else. I think the Knicks is just easy. Give me Karl Anthony Towns. We'll give you Giannis Antetokounmpo. We need another pick or two behind that because Karl Anthony Towns defensively is just not Giannis. You know, we know that. So, but offensively, the Knicks are losing. 15, 20 points a game from Karl Anthony Towns. Some nights it can be more than that. So I don't know. I don't know if the Knicks are better with this trade or not, but defensively we know they will be. They can push the ball a little bit more. They can run the floor with them. A lot of points in transition can be made. But I'm just tired of talking about Giannis. I've been saying for the longest, he's going to leave. Just leave. The fans, I think they appreciate you. You won the city a championship. You could just come out and say, yeah, I want to explore other options. You know, you don't have to make this I didn't want to leave, y'all. He's kind of doing the same thing Dame did. You know, Portland loves Dame. And now he's back there. You know, Giannis will be fine. I think he's going to be a Knick. Where do you think he's going to go? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get back to you on it. Get back with you on that. Justin Herbert is sitting out of practice. The Chargers quarterback will see how the week goes with his hand ahead of the Monday Night Football game that they have coming up. But again, y'all, back to the Bud Crawford thing. I'm kind of with him. He's already shown us that he's the greatest. You know, he has. And the WBC, in my opinion, they're making themselves look stupid. If the sanctioning fees have never been that high, that expensive, why are you doing it now to him? It makes it seem like Bud Crawford has a point. Maybe they were going for Canelo. Maybe they are mad that Bud beat his ass. And now they're just jacking the price up. Most fighters don't even make $400K in a damn fight. And you're asking for him to pay that in sanctioning fees? That is kind of absurd. So, yeah. He's the champ regardless. Fuck those belts. I'm with him. All right. If there was any wrestling news that I wanted to give you, this is it. Roman Reigns. The whole plan at some point during the year, it kind of changed. He decided, I'm actually not all in the Hollywood thing, and I'm coming back to the WWE. I want a championship. I want to win a belt. And basically, I want Cody's seat. That's what Roman Reigns said about not staying in Hollywood, because he actually could have. He just hurried up and did that little Street Fighters movie, and he came on back. They scrapped the whole Sami Zayn stuff because Sami was originally going to be the guy to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi and face Seth Rollins for the championship. But that's not till next year, WrestleMania. You mean to tell me Seth Rollins was going to be the champion for 2 years? That's what that sounds like to me, nearly 2 years. That was the long-term plan for the whole thing, that whole saga with the Vision. This is according to Self-Made. Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble as a babyface. He's going to frame it as a redemption story, and he's just going to beat Cody Rhodes and win the WWE Championship. The plan was for him to win the Royal Rumble and face Seth Rollins and win the World Heavyweight Championship. And now we know Seth Rollins is injured, so that's not going to happen. The whole thing when we came out of this math is the idea is we're supposed to know the WrestleMania matches, which is Cody and Roman and Punk and Braun Breaker. Those will be the championship matches. But we're getting Punk and Breaker January 5th on Netflix for free. Well, I wouldn't say for free. There's some wrestling fans who are watching who got Netflix just to watch WWE Monday Night Raw. So that's not free. That's $30. However, you get what I'm saying. If Punk and Breaker was for WrestleMania, then they scrapped that plan, and they're pushing that on up now. And that means they're going to put the belt on Braun Breaker, and he's going to go against Lesnar, like we had heard to at one point at WrestleMania, or Punk is going to still retain, and they're going to do something else with Braun Breaker. I just don't know what. Some people seem to think that after that promo that Braun Breaker had on Monday night, this is the time. The strike, this is the time to strike it. Strike the match. It's hot. This is the best time to put Braun Breaker over and give him that championship. Let's see what you got, kid. You've got everybody on their heels. Everybody's standing and they're waiting. They want a seat. Here you go. They may have to do this now. This is like catching lightning in a bottle. They may actually go with this. Punk was a champion by default, so he's kind of like the paper champion anyway. They may give him that title. But on January 5th, it's the 1 year anniversary for Raw on Netflix, so they very well may do it. I'm not sure. Gunther does not need the rub. By the way, I'm not a fan of the whole way out. Oh, John Cena Sr. was complaining about Gunther being John Cena's final opponent. So he's already telling you Gunther's beating LA Knight. And he's not really happy about it. He thinks that, he doesn't need the rub. He said, you've got to push somebody over the top idea. You're supposed to pass the torch, but I don't know if that's written anywhere in professional wrestling. He kind of thinks that when Cody and Cena had their matches, that was already him passing the torch. But Cody was already a champion, though. It's not like he took the championship from Cena. He did at SummerSlam, but he was the champion at WrestleMania to begin with, so he took the title from Cody, and then he gave it back. So, anyway, LA Knight's not going to be a world champion. What a surprise. I've told you all that before, too, and it says right here, according to Self-Made, they don't like him like that. Yeah, they don't like him like that. You see a wrestler getting huge pops, moving tons of merch, and your question, and this is any company, right? Look, he's going to do some stuff with Punk, and I don't understand that at all. But he's obviously not going to win any of those. I mean, he's not going to win the title from Punk. And then he'll get scraps for WrestleMania. This is according to Self-Made. Now, I've never heard of them, but it sounds kind of like everything that Dave Meltzer was saying. And if it's going to be some stuff between Punk and LA Knight, then that means Braun Breaker isn't going to win the title on January 5th. Or is this Punk and LA Knight stuff going to happen between now and January 5th? All of that remains to be seen. So it is what it is. If you look back at 2023, a lot of people wanted to count my demise. This is LA Knight. Wanted to count my demise a long time ago. They wanted to say, oh, this guy's going to be a flash in the pan. Oh, this guy's going to be the flavor of the month. Here we go. 2-3 years strong, still running. Nothing has changed. But he's still not a champion. And I don't think he will be. I told you all that the Buffalo Bills claimed Darius Slay off waivers. The former Steelers DB is headed to Buffalo off of waivers. That's according to Adam Schefter. The Baltimore Ravens extended Mark Andrews. The tight end agrees to a 3-year, $39.3 million contract to stay in Baltimore. That's according to NFL Network. I don't understand that. What is wrong with Isaiah Likely? He's supposed to be younger. He's supposed to be the new tight end who is, the one who's supposed to be working for that contract to get his money. Is it injuries or what? I didn't know Mark Andrews had another 3 years in him, to be honest with you. And after dropping that 2-point conversion or touchdown or whatever that was last season, I don't know. I don't know if I would even have him still on my roster. Okay, now, last but not least, can OKC beat the Golden State Warriors record of 73-9? To do that, they would have to go 74-8. And it's very possible right now. Looking at what they got going on, looking at what they've done, this is very possible. Could OKC Thunder make NBA history and go 74-8? The Thunder is off to a scorching start right now, sitting at 21-1. This team is balling, and I'm not gonna lie to you, they're on pace to win like 75 games. And I'm telling you right now, they got a good shot at breaking the Warriors' all-time win mark at getting 74. They won 68 games last year, if I'm not mistaken, 68. And they did that without shit for most of the year. And also without Mitchell. And he's having an incredible season to start off right now. He's off to an incredible level, considering this team just won a championship. The only game they've lost so far was against the Portland Trail Blazers, and they were up like 22 at one point. But they set out like 3 starters and Alex Caruso in that game. I guess they just got bored because they blew a 22-point lead and they lost. But I'm telling you, this Thunder team is bad, and they're bad to the bone. If we get to 40 games and the Thunder only have like 3 losses, by the time we get to 40 games, they very well can do this. But I just got to say one thing. It's not more important than winning the NBA championship again, which would make them back-to-back. And I have to say, I don't even know if they're trying to break this record or not. They're just playing ball. But everybody looks poised. Everybody looks determined, focused. And I just see SGA with a whole different demeanor. He looks like he wants it all. He looks like he's hungry, desperate, like he's never won a championship. And the motherfucker just won. He looks more aggressive. He's pulling threes, pulling up, shooting them, making them. He was a really more of a 2-point guy. and I'll shoot a three every now and then. He's pulling up, shooting threes. He's getting his assist steal. He's scoring. He's averaging 32.5 points a game on 32.5 points a game. AJ Mitchell is averaging 17 a game, almost 4 assists, and almost 2 steals per game. Playing lights out. Chet Holmgren, 38% from 3. On 4.1 3-point attempts per game. Chet was kind of struggling with that a little bit last season. He didn't have the best postseason, but he was just coming back from an injury that kind of had him out for most of the season. And this year, though, if he stays healthy, and look what he's doing as he's healthy, and AJ Mitchell is playing. Now he's back, and he's balling. And they just got Jay Williams back. Jalen Williams just came back, I think, a few nights ago, a week ago maybe, and they're slowly inserting him in, but you know he's going to get back to who he is and back to what he does. So I'm just saying, it's Chet Holmgren right now averaging 18.7 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, and 1.3 blocks per game. He is making a case for Defensive Player of the Year right now. OKC is holding their opponents to 6.2 fewer points per 100 possessions. Chet Holmgren, defensive off numbers this season, phenomenal. Their defensive rating, 103.8. That's first in the NBA. They hold their opponents to 10.1 fewer points per 100 possessions. 10.1 fewer points per 100 possessions. AJ Mitchell, that's his defensive on and off numbers this season. Y'all, this team is balling. I'm not going to lie to you. Shai Alexander went from 2.4 turnovers a game. Now that's down to 1.7 this season. The pass to turnover ratio was 7.6%. It is right now 7.6%. That puts them in the 90th percentile. The pass to turnover ratio, 8.9%, 81st percentile. Man, this team is balling, y'all. And if you want to compare them to the Warriors, you have to compare them to the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors. I hear a lot of people saying online, social media everywhere, the 17 and 18 Warriors. You can't compare them. They had Kevin Durant, and they won back-to-back championships. But don't compare that team to this. You compare the Thunder to the Golden State Warriors of 2015 and 2016, who won 73 games and 9 losses. And you can compare them to the team of 2014 and 2015. That team won their first NBA championship by beating the Cleveland Cavaliers the first time. That's how it went. The Thunder, they won their first championship last season. Now, just like the Warriors, in the second year where they're trying to go back-to-back, they also have an opportunity to break the Bulls record, or now the Warriors record. This is the same thing. So you compare the Thunder right now, 25-26 Thunder, to the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors. Not the 17 and 18 team that got Kevin Durant. In 15 and 16, they won 73 games without Durant. But they lost the NBA Finals in Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers at home on their own home court. Maybe it was a toll. Maybe that was a tough task getting those 73 wins. Maybe it took a toll on them. Maybe they were fatigued. They were beat up. We know Draymond Green got suspended for a game. He still came back and played the last 2 games. We know that Harrison Barnes was just terrible offensively in that series. Couldn't buy a shot. So there's things that we can look at, but at the end of the day, the Warriors did not win the whole thing, but they broke the record. The Thunder have to ask themselves, what's more important, the record or back-to-back championship? The Warriors didn't go back-to-back at that time because they didn't win that Game 7. Now, they would go back-to-back in 2017 and 2018, but that's neither here nor there. We're comparing the 2025-2026 Thunder to the 2015-2026 Golden State Warriors. And I, for one, think they can do it. Now, again, Draymond Green said it took years off of his career trying to do that. And it took a toll on him and his teammates. This team is young, though. Not saying that the Warriors were not young at that time, because they were. But I don't know, man. One thing about the Warriors when they done it, they had the best player in the world at that time, and that was Steph Curry. And right now, SGA is one of, if not the best player in the world right now in basketball. And he's on another level. He's looking very, very, very poised, very determined, more aggressive. And I'm telling y'all, man, this could very well happen. They just started playing 100% healthy. They just got their full roster. I think they finally have a healthy roster now. And look what they've done. At 21-1, I'm telling you that the OKC Thunder can break that record. And I would like to see them break that record, go 74-8, and win the NBA championship. If they can pull that off, they truly are going to be a dynasty. I mean, you don't have to win anymore. If you can win these two and do what you do in this second one and going back-to-back, winning 74 or 75 games, that would be remarkable, unbelievable. And the fact that we're comparing the Thunder already to the Warriors of a decade ago, that's kind of saying that there's really not a lot of tough competition for OKC right now. Now, I'm not sure if they played everyone in the league just yet. They're 21-1. So in 22 games, no, of course they have not played every team yet, but they played all the tough ones. They played everybody in the West, I believe, so far, and they're running through everybody. There is not enough competition. If this doesn't change, if whatever happens in the trade deadline does not, match up to OKC, they play good defense just like the Warriors. They're a good shooting team. Not quite like the Warriors, but they are efficient, maybe even more efficient, because they don't just take a bunch of jump shots like crazy like the Warriors. They have half-court offense. They play good defense. I don't know which defense is better, but Draymond Green and Hardenstein, you can make a comparison as far as to what they do, but Draymond Green probably still means more and does more for his team, or did back then, than Hardenstein. But I wouldn't underestimate Hardenstein's IQ. He does have a high IQ. He's always in the right spot at the right time, making the right play, getting the right lob, getting the right pass. I mean, they are a good team, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are they good, the starters, they got a bench. Talk about depth. They can whoop your ass with the starters, or they can have the bench come out and maintain that lead, or even make that lead even larger. The bench. This team is as deep as it gets. They're as good as it gets. They're as young as it gets. This was the year they were supposed to have been peaking right here. This was supposed to be the year they peaked. They've already won one championship. I told everybody last summer, you better get them now, because I don't know if you're going to beat them in the next couple of years here. The Thunder are going to be around for a minute, like the next 3 to 5 years. This was your shot last year. Now, I'm not saying the Pacers wouldn't have beat them, but they didn't beat them. And I know Halliburton got injured, and I hate that. We'll never know how that would have ended. But some people just think the Pacers would have won the championship had Halliburton not gotten injured. We don't know that either. Just because he was going off doesn't mean the Thunder was not going to win the game. The Thunder are champions now. We can't take that away from them. And right now, I don't see who can take it away from them right now either. I just wanted to say that, if you ask me, I'm going to say yes, they can do it. And again, if they've only got 3 losses, by the time we get to 40 games, they're going to do it. Now, injuries can happen just like that, and it's a wrap. But the Thunder are going to have to ask themselves the same thing the Eagles asked themselves last year. Should we go for Saquon Barkley's record, or should we just go for the Super Bowl? They said forget the record, got the Super Bowl. The Warriors went for the record, didn't get the NBA championship. Tough question that needs to be answered for OKC on which one they do. I think they're young, deep, and good enough to do them both. I told you all, when the Dodgers won back-to-back World Series, the NBA usually does everything that the MLB does. It kind of goes hand in hand. And I picked the Thunder to win this whole thing again if the Dodgers won. Well, the Dodgers won. My Dodgers, that is. So I'm going to say OKC wins back-to-back. I don't really give a damn what trade is made. You can send Giannis to the Knicks, and I still don't think they beat OKC. You're going to have to send Giannis to... You can send him to the Warriors. I don't think they beat OKC, probably. I doubt it. There's a lot of hate. People hate SGA, blah, blah, blah. He's at the free throw line a lot. Man, this team is good, and it's not by accident. I'm going to leave it at that. I think they can win. And I think not only can they go 74-8, I think they're going to go 75-7. That's all I got for now, ladies and gentlemen. The Great Debate Show is available on all social media platforms. Rate, review, follow, subscribe to The Great Debate Show. And on YouTube, hit that notification bell, because you never know when your favorite unk might pop back up. Until the next time, y'all be safe out there.
Had to cut, dog, I had some bras, let's go ride. That was 9-9, me and my girls used to blow by. I stayed in her whole thighs. If it's beef, when I was in them streets, I